Are you on your message? Are you on chat right here so you can see messages?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And I know everybody heard that. So
Yay.
welcome. And it's a Peggy day.
We're here. We're here. Yay.
Yesterday was a Janine day and today's a
Yes.
Peggy
Wasn't
day.
her album so fun? I loved watching that. That was
Yes.
so cute.
Yes.
So
Janine
cute.
had the state fair, the Iowa State
Mm-hmm.
Fair junk journal.
Yes.
And it was pretty cool. I will
Mm-hmm.
say it was pretty neat. And it made me want to go to the fair, Peggy.
I know. Even on East Side night, I'd go to the fair now.
Even on East Siders night. I don't know. It
No
might
offense,
be
East Siders. No offense,
it
please.
might be dangerous.
No
I don't
hate
know.
mail.
It's funny how that's been a special thing for
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
many, many years.
Uh-huh.
But today we're not doing
Yeah.
state fair, but we have something really special with
Mm-hmm.
Peggy.
Yep.
But first of all, I guess we need to say I'm Kelly
Mm-hmm.
and Peggy's here and
Yeah.
Janet is here also in the background,
Mm-hmm.
linking and drinking and answering questions. And you're
Yep.
at Memory Bound Paper Craft Store
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of Iowa. So welcome.
On a rainy morning.
Yes, it is a rainy. We've had our grass is green and it's August. That is very
Yes.
unusual.
Mm-hmm.
So it's green and it's good. And it looks like Erica and Kim and Joanne and Jan. Good morning,
Yeah. Good
everybody.
morning, everyone.
Jan says she loves Peggy's
Oh,
layouts.
thank you, Jan. Thank
Just
you.
wait. You ain't seen nothing yet. Um, so we are going to maybe, you know what, Peggy, I'm just
gonna
going to
show 'em?
go, I'm just going to go
Okay.
like this.
All right. There they are.
And another very awkward, you guys can't see me, but this is sort of awkward.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to love them. Peggy, of
Mm-hmm.
course, is the layout queen here at Memory Bound, and that's her specialty.
I
And
love
we
layouts.
love it.
I love layouts. Love doing them.
Well, that's good, and it shows. Oh, somehow I got
Mm-hmm.
the layout in the camera. Let me move it over. There we
Mm-hmm.
go. We're good. Okay. So anyway, welcome everybody. Peggy, do
Yeah.
you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to do, and then we'll tell them about their special,
Absolutely.
and then we'll do
Absolutely.
it.
We are focusing on Vicki Boutin Flower Emporium today. Uh, you know, when Vicki Boutin made that move from American Crafts to 49 and Market, the Flower Emporium was her first
Yeah.
collection with 49 and Market. Oh, so excited when it came out. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous collection. So many pieces with it. I mean, when it was another one of those, you know, I walk in the door, I drop everything and buy it. So it's very versatile. And as you look at the three layouts that I have here, they are all very different looking layouts, but they're from the same collection. And I really like that because um, sometimes when you do layouts using that same collection, they all kind of blend in and look the same, where these are very different. So, you know, you can buy that collection, you have some very different layouts, you can do a lot of different things. And so everything looks a little bit different too. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed it.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
great collection. And
Yeah.
what's even better is that the Vicki Boutin
Mm-hmm.
Flower Emporium from 49 and Market, that's a lot to say. It's 40% off. So we do have a
Mm-hmm.
really
Yes.
wonderful special.
40% off today for the Vicki Boutin. And Letha, I'm going to get you back into doing layouts. I really am. That's going to be my goal today.
What did
Okay.
she say?
She said she's trying to relearn how to do layouts.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm here for you, Letha. I'm here for you. So we can learn how to do them all together.
Peggy's the 12 by 12er.
I am a 12 by 12er, yes. I've tried to do smaller ones. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but 12 by 12 is really, you know, my wheelhouse. So yeah.
Well, welcome. Cindy says that they have rain in Washington, which is good because they have fires.
Oh, good.
Yikes.
Good. I'm glad.
And Anne has made an excellent comment. I'm trying to show the comments, but that's not
Yeah.
working. Anne says she's not a scrapbooker, but she always learned tips from Peggy on how to for cards in her journals.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Anne. That makes me
And
really happy.
Janet made a comment, Peggy, that we need to announce this, and I don't know why we haven't, because this is really big. Janet is going to be here in the studio on Friday, so she's coming back to Iowa, and we're lucky because we get to spend time with her on Friday, and she's launching a brand new card kit, and she's bringing layouts from her heritage.
Oh, that's exciting.
So that's Janet's.
Is,
that's her wheelhouse for
yes,
sure.
That is. Janet does beautiful heritage layouts. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Let's see. Have we got any other comments we need to share? Good morning, PJ, and Judy's here, and Mary from Mary from Maine.
Yep.
So welcome everybody. We have a lot of people watching. I think they want to see They want to see Peggy and what she's doing.
Ooh, ooh. Okay.
So that's right. Janet's here Friday. Sarah's here tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to have a special video tomorrow to show all the new
All the new
product.
stuff. Yeah, we've got some new stuff. Katie Petite.
Because
some
we
Artie
have
Studio stuff.
Katie
Yeah.
Petite's Christmas collection arrived yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have a special video on that tomorrow afternoon because it's piling up again and
Yeah.
we need to get it out there and show everybody. And there's a lot of good stuff. And if you're wondering what's new, you can go to memorybound.com and then go to shopping and then go to the new tab. Oh, Erica
Oh,
said, did you
Erica.
see that? She's using your
Yeah.
tips on her beach vibes.
And she's doing some
And her
Maggie
Maggie
books.
books.
Yay, yay.
We love it.
I love
it.
that you're combining two of our designers and combining what you're hearing and learning and seeing, on a project. That's just great. I love
awesome.
it.
It's wonderful.
That's what we do for it.
So Peggy's going to show us her leg layouts.
Her Legos, yeah, okay.
Her Legos, her leggings, or her layouts. And then
I got joggers today.
She got her joggers on. And then what we'll do is she'll show you the product as she goes, and then just know that all of the 49 and Market Flower Emporium is 40% off, and that is our special.
Yes, everything we have in stock.
It's the special goes through Friday. Wait, what's today? Wednesday. Oh, let's take it through the weekend.
Through Sunday.
We'll do it through Sunday since it's already Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. So Peggy, what's up first? How are you going to decide what to show first?
Oh gosh, isn't that a hard one?
It is.
I think I'm going to go with this one.
That is amazing.
They're
all amazing.
You know what? I'm going to go with them in the order that I made them.
Okay.
So we're going to start with Max. Max is going to be my first
the camera
one.
so we can see what you got going on there.
So yeah, Max, my little Maxie. Let's see if I get it straight here.
I think the camera's tilted. There you go. I think you can.
Straight.
Oh gosh, you guys, look at that. Is that just really super cool?
Okay, I'm not very good at this.
You're getting it.
You're getting them all in there. Okay.
There, I think. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm going to start with Max, and I had this picture of Max. This is from a couple years ago when they had family photos taken, and oh my gosh, you look at his eyes, fall in love with those eyes.
Oh
and
my
I knew
gosh,
that I wanted
not
to.
kidding.
I just needed to do something. I wanted. I saw, in the picture, you see the orange in there, framing his face, and the blonde of his hair. You see those beautiful blue eyes, and you see the greenery and the neutrals. And so I wanted to bring all that together in the layout. And I was kind of, perusing Instagram as we all do, on social media and stuff. And I saw this layout that used this paper. This is called Starters Paper 2. And it used this paper, and I thought, oh, okay, I can see how they're doing it. I want to figure out how they do it. So I kind of studied it a little bit.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
And what they did was they took this paper and they cut it apart. They just cut it apart and used the different strips. So you can kind of see the different strips in here, how I did that. And here I'll show you the parts that I had left over from there. So here are all the little strips that I had left over that I didn't use from that paper.
So Peggy, with those, could you do that on a card? You probably
You certainly could,
couldn't
yeah.
you?
You certainly could. I mean, you'd probably have to cut them down just a little bit, but boy, you sure could. You could lay them out. I mean, these are just laid out, a little bit here and a little bit there, and just kind of vary the height of them. And it doesn't matter where where the points come to on this one, because that picture hides where the points are at. So it doesn't matter if the points match, or if they, are away from each other, or if they're clear in. It doesn't matter, because the picture is going to hide that. So you can vary, how that goes. Just, keep that kind of circular shape, that curve, with your pieces. And you will just, be able to make this type of background. Now I started with this because I really like this look for a background, and I really want to figure out how to really do it well. I haven't figured out how to do it well yet, but I've got a little bit of an idea of how to do it. But I really liked how this started, and then this added to it. And if you look at the color wheel, sometimes you think, well, why did you put, why are you putting these colors with the orange? Well, you look at the color wheel, orange and blue, are across from each other. So they're complementary colors. So you can use those together. And I think, if you do have a color wheel at home, you can kind of see, colors that complement or, that go together and stuff. I think it really helps when it comes to mixing and matching a lot of different colors and patterns. So I knew that my blue was going to go with my orange because the color wheel told me so. And so that's kind of how I started. And then when I cut
so
this all
different.
apart, then, figure out what pieces do I want to use on here. And I really wanted to focus more on the blues and the neutrals, and with a little bit of green, obviously, because of the green in the background. But that's kind of where I wanted to focus. So I kind of pulled those pieces out. After I got it all cut out, I kind of pulled all those pieces out. And when you see like on this piece where this kind of comes over that, for these, I cut this part out, and then, I just trimmed off that little edge so that it would look like all of them are wedged, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. So then I just kind of laid them out, figuring out, how I wanted to do them. I took my paper distressor, and we have one right here. Took my paper distressor, and I just went along the edges of my paper just to kind of rough them up a little bit. You can do it with your fingernail, but that's kind of like, fingernails on a chalkboard, actually, to me. So I use my paper distressor just to kind of distress the edges. And then I use my brush corduroy ink and just inked up the edges. So just kind of took my, my brush and just kind of inked up the edges a little bit so that to give them definition and give them
it almost makes the paper thicker.
It does. It really seems to, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
And then when I went to put it down, I only put adhesive like on the bottom half of it. I didn't put adhesive all the way to the top because I wanted it to kind of give it life,
Give it life.
Give it life. Let it bounce.
It might be a new Peggy thing.
Give it
like
a little
solids
life.
that aren't solids.
I always say that, you can cut paper. Paper doesn't have feelings, so it doesn't know that you're cutting it. But, I mean, even though it doesn't have feelings, sometimes I want to give it life. And so, I just put my adhesive, halfway down and stuck it down. And that way it still kind of, gives it some texture and when you layer it, it just gives it a little bit of height there too. So that was kind of how I created that background, just kind of, layer things on there. And I just really liked how that came out. And then I decided my picture is going to go in the middle because I have to cover up where all of these edges, are at, where they meet, because it's not very pretty under there. But so my picture is there. But before I adhered my picture down, I went through and I put all my other stuff down. And so I used a lot of the Vicki Boutin different pieces in her let me grab them here real quick. So what I started with, a lot of the chipboard pieces that you'll see, there's a frame here, there's a little piece right here, there's a frame here that I used. And so I wanted to kind of use those frames as kind of another base too, to kind of separate my areas on there. So I knew the picture was going to go here. What was I going to put behind the picture? So I thought, well, I'm just going to use this frame. And on this frame, I didn't really need it to go all the way behind. I mean, that'd be wasting quite a bit of it. So I cut it. Now, keep in mind that I cut it because you might see it again. But so I cut this frame right there. So it was just going to, show a little bit there. And then if you look at,
good idea, Peggy,
at the paper here, you'll see these butterflies down here. Guess where those ended up? Right inside the frame, right in there. Because I thought it needed a little bit of filler in there. So I just kind of cut that. It just needed a little bit of filler, a little bit of color. And that's what I did with that. And then I tucked in a couple of leaf pieces, one from, just from some of the ephemera here. This is from the foam stickers on there. And and kind of tuck those in, a little bit of the rub-on through here. Unfortunately, we are out of the rub-ons right now. What are you looking for, Teresa? I think we're out of those. Um, so um, just kind of stuck those in and did a little bit of a rub on here, and that, you know, created that whole side. I mean, it didn't, not a lot of pieces, didn't take a lot of time, and so that kind of created that. And then in the ephemera packages too is this little circle that says love this, love this, love this, you know, it repeats that, and I thought, oh, I really want to use that, and so I just added that in there. This is a little piece of a vellum that was in one of the packages, but you could use any of the little circles that, you know, will fit under there. You can even use a pen just to kind of go around to make that mark in there too if you don't have it. But I just kind of tucked that one in a little bit, not all the way, but I wanted to make sure you could see love this and love this. You know, those words were there. I didn't want to cut them in half. So that's as far as they went. And then, you know, a couple of the leaves here, you know, coming out. Now, like I said, we don't have that vellum package that has these
Oh,
leaves,
okay, that
but
was the question.
we do have the laser cuts, and we have the stickers. And I think
You
you
could
would be able
substitute.
to find enough pieces in those to substitute out for that, because it's got, you know, the little leaves and things, you know, the
That's a lot of
you could
pieces.
there's a lot of pieces in here. I tell you what, I used a lot on these layouts, but I have so much more left. It's just amazing. This U is a foam sticker, so that comes right out of the foam sticker sheet, right there.
Jennifer was just telling
Hmm.
me how much she likes those foam.
I do
They're
too.
kind of like thick. They were thickers at American Crafts.
Yeah.
Now they're
Hmm.
puffy stickers
Yeah.
at 49
I
to
and
Market.
I do like, I like them because, again, you know, they give you a little bit of height on things. They give you a little dimension. They're not just flat, and that's the one thing I do like about those. They really they give you just a little. They bump things up a little bit more. So there's that, and then I add a little bit of rub on here too. Then down here I used another frame. This is a chipboard frame that I used, and which package did it come out of? Let's see here. It came out of the chipboard basics. So this frame, I believe, and this frame both came out of chipboard basics piece. And you get so many, you get the titles and things like that out of here. I mean, you can see my title Smile is right in there as well. Those are the chipboard
Yeah, they
circles
got
here.
flowers and all
Yeah,
kinds of
you get all
things.
kinds of things in that. And then the other chipboard, the chipboard bits, I use this in a lot of them too. You'll see the numbers are down here. And I put a number down here um, on this one because that's how old Max was when this picture was taken. He was 3 years old. So
Oh,
that's why that 3 is in there.
good idea.
So then to do, you know, where the title is, I kind of set down the frame, and I did trim this off too. I wouldn't have had to because I ended up popping my picture up, but it's okay. I just kind of trimmed it off. You never know where that might show up again. I mean, it could show up somewhere.
You saved
I
it,
mean,
Peggy?
it lays on my table. It can show up anywhere. And so then, you know, the word smile from the chipboard bits, you know, fits right across that frame so nicely. It's just a nice fit there, just to kind of give you, you know, that other little, you know, visual triangle part, you know, where you have the larger one, the medium, the smaller one, you want all that. And so the smile fit right in there. And then, you know, there's just I'm not sure which one that came out of. I use them all so much. Moments like this, I'm not sure, but it might have been a sticker too. But just, you know, put that up in there and tuck that underneath. And then the hearts all came out of one of them. I don't know. The flowers, I think those were, maybe we don't have those now. But I used the foam sticker right in here to kind of tuck that in. And then on the foam stickers, there are also these little dots. They look like enamel dots, but they're all from the foam sticker sheet. So those, you know, work in the same manner. And then of course the chipboard Life is Full of Wonder. You guys know I love to, you know, put little word phrases all over my layouts. This right up here, Something Wonderful, that is from the rub-ons. And then what I did after that was to create, you know, these little black spotties. I just used my black soot ink and a paintbrush and a
Yeah.
little bit of water, and smooshed my black ink on my, you can use, anything that you have, that's glass. I just used my acrylic stamp block and just kind of smooshed it on there, sprayed it with water, dipped it in, and kind of hit it around. And that's how I created that. So that was quick and easy. So even though this layout looks really complicated, it actually came together in about an hour.
Wow.
And
Well,
that's unheard of
I
for
love
me.
the concept. There's a lot of papers that have that kind of paper fan on them.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
sometimes I think it's hard to know how to use them. And this
Yeah.
is a whole new way for.
Well, I think was it Summer Days, the Simple Stories Summer Days, and
I think
maybe
they
the
had
Fair
something
paper
like
has
that
something
too.
like this that has that. Or if you take your 6x8 pad, and you can just cut wedges from your paper, pick out, a bunch of different papers and just cut wedges. And that's going to work. I mean, cut a rectangle, cut it in half, you have a wedge. And so you just, they're all the same sizes, but you can vary where they go. You can, thin them out, you can widen them out, that sort of thing. So you can use any kind of thing. You don't necessarily have to start with this paper, a paper like this to cut it. Now, if you're doing it for the first time, that might be a little bit easier, but once you kind of figure out how that works.
The thing is, you get all those different patterns
you
on
get
one
all of them
paper.
on there.
So if you, how many layouts do you think you could do with that paper, Peggy? Because you used about
so many,
10, maybe approximately 10.
And, I mean, I could do another layout on here. I mean,
Yeah.
if I wanted to, set it out here and just kind of start putting them out here.
Lisa says your pages make her want to do 12 by 12 scrapbooking.
Okay, Letha. Come on.
This is Lisa.
Lisa, okay.
But you know what? You can do this. It doesn't have to be a 12 by 12 if you do 6 by 8s or 8 by 8s or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, vary the width of your wedges, and like I said, it doesn't matter where they are here because you're going to hide that with your picture. But you can,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, you can do however it works down here, I mean, let's pretend we have a picture here right there, and you have it. You've got the start of it. So, I mean, that's how quick that can come together. You just lay it out there and you start putting things on there. It works. You know what? I do have a picture I could put on there. I'll get it. I brought this just in case. So look at, I mean, if I put that on there like that, there it is. I'm going to tuck another one in here. So that's how you kind of set that up. And then you just kind of start decorating from there. It makes it so easy. And that's the one thing I like about, these papers with these backgrounds already printed on here. It just, you don't have to worry about, having to ink everything up. It's really already there for
Peggy,
you.
can you show, like with your layout, can you show one more time the two papers, the one you started with for the background?
This is where I started.
Because I never know what to do with that, but it really frames your
This is where I started. Only the Flower Emporium is on special, Mary Elizabeth. The 49 Market Flower Emporium is at 40% off today. Did I cut my paper with scissors? Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And then she took her paper distressing tool
and roughed up the edges with it. Yep, roughed up the edges. You can kind of see it on this one. This was one that I was going to use, and then I didn't end up using it. But you can kind of see it. They're inked and roughed up a little bit. But yeah, so I started here. I cut all of these out. And I was just going to cut out certain ones, but then once I got going, I thought, I'll just cut them all out. It's going to take more time to figure out which ones and where to cut than if I just cut them all out at the same time. So I just cut them all out at the same time. That's why I have my extras there, because I thought, well, I can use those on another layout. But this was the starting point. And again, don't forget about the barcode strips, because those are going to come in handy. This one is going to come in handy. You might see this one coming up again too. So keep your barcode strips until you're completely done with your projects, because you never know when you're going to use them. So that is layout number 1.
And it's amazing. We have 2 more layouts, so don't leave.
Yeah,
don't go away, folks.
Don't go away. We're still here. Okay, so layout number 2 is this one. Now, does it look like it came from the same collection as layout number 1? I don't think so. I think it looks a
A
little bit
little
different.
different colors
Yeah,
for
a little
sure.
different colors. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm not fitting in there. Okay, little different colors. This one I used a lot of the, dang it, I'm not straight.
There you go. That's good.
Go back a little bit. Okay, I don't know. I used a lot of the different solids. So the background is from the solid pack,
And they
I
don't call them solids. They
no.
call them,
Do they call
they
them
have starters and they have, what's the name?
the staples?
Staples,
Staples pack. So this
AKA
started from the
solids.
Staples pack. And if you look at the front of the Staples pack package, that's kind of where my inspiration came from this because it shows all the different papers. So it shows, the front and the back of each of the different.
And we don't have the Staples pack, but we have the individual
We have the
sheet.
individual sheets. So on one side, you get this beautiful little, diamond shape with a little bit of script on it. And on the back side is just a little bit darker and it's a grid pattern on there. And so I thought these colors are all so bold and so vibrant and just pretty. They all go together, they all coordinate. And I thought, well, let's just put them on there. And then the purple actually came from the 6x8 package. So the purple came from the 6x8 right here because I needed one more color in there, to set my design and to get enough, to have 12 going across. And then this piece right here came out of the paper pad. So I have the paper pad, it's the striped paper, and it looks like this. And that's what the stripe in the middle came from. And what I did with this was I cut inch wide strips of the paper. So I had inch wide strips of each of the papers. I just cut an inch wide. So you can, oh, that's half inch, sorry. Maybe I don't have my inches here. But anyhow, I guess I didn't. I cut 2 inch wide here. And what I did was then cut
And
these
then
into
it off. Okay.
inch widths because I wanted the dark side and I wanted the light side of each of them. So I wanted the dark side and I wanted the light side.
So you got two for each.
Yep.
Two different colors for each strip.
So I cut it in 2 inches. And like I said, I added the stripe and I added the purple. This from the paper pad, this from the 8x8. But if you don't have, one or the other, you could certainly go like to the tag sheet if you have the collection pack, and you can pick one of these other, patterns from there. This one wasn't quite wide enough to go like my full 2. Well, I guess it is. I guess it is. Maybe that's what I took it from. It is. Okay, so I took it from there. This
so you had a variety of different papers from different places.
So so you could kind of you could take it from the starters pack, or you could take it from the paper pad, and just cut them 2 inches wide, 1 inch wide, 1 inch wide, 2 inches long. Sorry, 1 wide, 2 long. And then I inked the edges on all of them because I wanted to give separation to each of the colors. And I think by inking the edges, you get that. And then when I started, my whole intent was, to have 1 inch, and have 12 1-inch strips. But then I put this one like in the middle. So that meant that I was going to have a 1/2 inch over here. And on each side, if I went out by centering this in the middle, because this was at, this would have been like at the 6-inch mark would have been in the middle of this. So I thought, well, I have to do something there. So the brown, which I thought, well, that's going to be a good
kind of
neutral.
Frames it, yeah.
And it's going to, just kind of help hold everything together. So I just cut these into 1/2 inch strips. Same thing. I cut my 1 inch just right in half. So that's why those are 1/2 inch. And then when I came down here, I just flipped the order of it. So I stayed with my stripe, but I just flipped the order. So you see, the dark pink, the light pink, the yellow, the blue, the orange, the blue. I just kind of flipped it just to give it a little bit of interest. And then remember when I said keep an eye on that barcode strip? Right there it is. I used it right there
Oh my
because
gosh,
it
what
had a
a
lot of
great.
those colors in it. So I used it right across that. And I thought, well, this layout is going to be a layout about friendship and things. And so I knew I needed to, have something, with the hearts. And I love to include hearts on my layouts. You guys have probably noticed that. There's yellow hearts on, one of layout of Max. This one has some pink hearts. So that kind of defined, gave me separation between the two um, um, pieces of color. So I just did that. These down here are 3/4 of an inch long, inch wide, 3/4 long. So 2 inches long, 3/4 of an inch long. Why I didn't just do it an inch, I don't know. That's just how it
It's
ended up
just how it
cutting.
worked out,
So
right,
that's how,
Peggy?
exactly. And then on the bottom, you'll also see that I used another one of the barcode strips. So this comes from the tag paper right down here. And I had, this pink paper from up here. And I thought, well, I need to bring some pink down here too, but I didn't want that all the way on the bottom because it wasn't quite long enough. So I thought, well, let's use that barcode strip. We'll put that there. We'll tuck that pink under there. And that way, pink is really kind of, the color I was aiming for on this layout a lot.
Yeah.
And so, that just added that pink there. So it brought the pink all the way through. And so then as I went along on this one, you can see I just used 2 pieces of paper from the paper pad to frame or to map my photos. And those 2 sheets from this are right here. No, it's this one right here. I'm sorry, this one right here. I use that because I wanted to have a little bit of that pink
Have you shown
showing
that
right
paper
here.
pad yet, Peggy?
Haven't shown all of it yet. And then this one down here. So this paper pad, you get so much. It's just so pretty. And you get 2 of each
That
sheet in
helps
here.
me because I have trouble sometimes.
I do too, because sometimes if I only get one, I'm afraid to cut into it. So, you
I'm
get
glad
2 of
someone else feels
everything.
that way.
And you can see that I've used a few of those. This is one that coming up.
You could you could
But
fussy
look,
cut
you could,
those flowers.
yeah, that's exactly what
There-
I thought when I first saw it.
There's the flower ephemera has been sold out since the collection came out, but that would be a great
Yeah,
alternative.
if you want to, and these wouldn't
And
be
they're not
bad with,
bad.
no, because they're not a lot, but you could certainly do that, and you could, use that on there. I love all these words on here. This is kind of a cool one, and I like kind of the ombre look to it. And there's, purple that you can use too, though I use mine from the 6x8. You can certainly use it from here. And then I was going to use this on my third layout, but it ended up, I used this side of it instead. Here's the stripe that you can use, right up here at the background. I like this background.
Yeah, and those 4x6 cards are pretty neat.
I know, aren't these neat? I really I really kind of wanted to mat a photo in one of these. It just didn't work out as I did it. But yet.
I think I see a lot of other layouts coming out here.
So this is the background of the next one that we'll see. But yeah, and you still get these barcode strips up there too.
Oh, I
so
didn't
you
realize
just need
that.
to kind of, keep an eye on those because it actually shows you what's on the reverse side.
Vicki Boutin loves paper.
Yeah.
And when she started with 49 and Market, like Peggy said, her first collection, she told Janine, the owner of 49 and Market, she needed more paper. And that's why they came out with those tablets.
And they're just, you get so much, there's so much paper in this collection. Oh my gosh, there's so much to choose from.
And Janet linked it for us.
Okay.
So if you want to get that, she's got it linked, everybody.
It's just gorgeous paper. So, we talked about this up here, talked about the barcode strip down here. This right here is a chipboard piece that you can kind of see and the only reason I used it was because it was pink and it was laying on my desk because I had it out from another one. I thought, well, there's a good place for it. So I put it down there. So matted the photos. I knew I needed to bring in, one other color, with the photo mat. Like I said, I wanted, some of this pink to show on the photo mat. But then I thought, well, look at this. Here's the rest of that blue frame from the first
Oh my
layout.
gosh,
You know, it doesn't
yes.
have anything
I've
across
never
here,
I've never done
but
that.
I wanted to do that. And I thought, well, let's make this the darker blue. I think the lighter blue, if had I used the lighter blue, I think it would have washed it out. But the darker blue in a different, you know, in a different pattern coordinates with all of it. So that's why I chose those colors. Um, to matte this, to matte the photo. Plus she's got blue in her dress, so that kind of worked there. This is from the sticker sheet. Again, the only reason I'm using that is because I wanted something else on that mat that had some pink in it. And
Sticker sheet.
yep. And you get, you know, the yellow, the pink, and the blue pieces like that, which I mean, they're great to use. Very fun. And so, you know, just to kind of tuck in somewhere, and I could have turned it the other way and kind of tucked, you know, these edges in under the photo, but I kind of liked them for the edges. I inked it up too, so I kind of like that. And then my next step was this is from the rub-ons, these flowers right here, and I really like the pink, and that's really kind of where I started with it all. I knew I wanted to use those. This is from the rub-ons as well. And this is from the rub-ons, which we don't have anymore, but so I'm sorry about that. But again, you know, you could splat some ink there, you know, and it would work just as well. Rub-ons. I just kind of added those. But then I just went through all of my little ephemera packages with all the flowers and things and pulled out everything that was pink and kind of put that in a tray. And then that's how I kind of went to work with this. You know, tucking, you know, a little bit of flower there, one on top, tucking that heart in there. Um, a lot of these are from that vellum pack and the gold pack. So just kind of build on that. This is from the chipboard pieces. I love the size of these because they make great titles. So those are always good. And then again, you know, the word there. And then um, the pearls. You know, the collection doesn't come with enamel dots, but you can, like, you know, like before, you have, you know, the little black foam pieces that you can use as enamel dots, or get your honeybees. These are the spring pearls. They really match the collection so pretty. I mean, look at all the colors that are in there that will match. Like I said, the spring pearls, and I just added a few here or there just to add a little bit of I just thought it needed just a little bit more fine detail. And that's the one thing that your enamel dots or your gems, or you know, even the little dots from the foam stickers, those are your fine detail. And I think whenever you talk about, you know, doing groupings and things like that, you need the large pieces, you need the medium pieces, you need the smaller pieces, and then after you get those all put together, then you add your fine detail, and that is really that I think just gives you that finishing touch on it. And then up here, this is actually a rub on this tie, or this little bow. But you know, if you had some twine, you could certainly
Yeah,
tie it
that'd be neat.
right
It'd
there. I
give it a
think
lot
that
of
just
dimension.
gives it a little bit. This right here is from the sticker sheet. It's the hello from the sticker sheet that I just covered up the hello, and then I added one of I added one of these to it to
You have lots of
add to that.
layers, Peggy.
And then this little phrase right here is right here. So I didn't even have to worry about printing it on my printer and making sure it was centered and stuff. It was already done for me. And it says, make friends with people who want the best for you and keep them close. And that was really important to me for this layout, because these gals right here are some of my oldest and dearest friends. We grew up together from day one. Our parents were best of friends. And I write in my journaling, you know, that not many friendships can last over 6 decades, but ours has. And to me, that's pretty amazing. And they are some of my closest and dearest friends, and have been all of my life. So
That's
that's
really
pretty
cool,
important,
Peggy.
you know. And I need to document that. I mean, because like I said, not everybody can say, you know, they've had friends for that long.
No, and I'm not going to be able to
Mhm.
make new friends for 60
No.
years either.
No, exactly, exactly. Okay, final layout
Oh
of
my
the
gosh,
day
that's so
is
gorgeous.
this one. And this one, we're going to talk about how we made this
I
one.
love the colors of that one. Those are
Yeah.
colors I really like. And
So it started with this paper right here, and it ended this way. So started here
yeah, I was going to say, show
and
it
ended
again.
here. So what I did, like I said in that first layout, where it had the orange, kind of looked mixed media-ish. I wanted that look, but I needed it in yellow and I needed it in gold because I really wanted to bring out the golds and the yellows in these photos because, the boys have kind of neutral clothes on. I mean, it's a lot of naturey stuff. I pulled out all the yellow embellishments from, the different collection or the different ephemera packages that I had. I pulled all those out with a few little neutrals. And then I thought, well, I'm going to need to add some green to it as well. And when I said that you're going to see this, I wanted to use that paper. Where did it go? I pulled it out even too. I wanted to use that yellow paper here because I thought really
Good color.
my first thought was I was just going to like tear this and kind of crumple it up and, give it some texture. That did not work so well. And so I thought, well, I have to come up with another plan. And that was when the inking came into place. But, after I tore this, I thought, well, that's not going to work. But I still had this, from where I tore the paper. So I thought, well, why can't I use that on there? It was laying on my desk. Why can't I use
I
it?
know, isn't it funny the things
It
that
is
are
funny, the
laying
things
there,
that just
Peggy?
come out and man, you use them. And so I didn't even cut off the barcode strip on this one. I just used it as it was because I thought that's a great yellow strip on there. It's going to coordinate with everything I'm doing. And this, black and white gives me a nice little neutral. So, and a place to rest your eyes because there's a lot going on here. And then I thought, well, I need some green. And I actually started off, the green I started off with was the green from the starter package, which I don't seem to find right now. But, it was with the grid paper on there. That was what I kind of started off behind here. But then I thought, well, I want to use this tag from the tag sheet. And so I thought, well, okay, then if I'm going to use, this tag from the tag sheet and it's got that grid pattern on it, then I want a different pattern over here. And so I just, went back to the paper pad and found that nice dark green paper again, which I think I used both sheets of. No, I didn't.
So this is
Yes, I
from the
did.
paper
I did.
pad.
It's from
So,
the paper pad. I
so the
used both the
background's from the
sheets.
paper pad and the green is from the paper pad.
So yeah, it's this sheet right here that I used, and I used it along the back too. No, wait. Oh, it's this one. It's this one right here, the one with the butterflies. It's the darker green. So I used that around my edges, and then I used a little bit here too. So I used both sheets. I cut a little bit of both sheets. So I used it there. And so that kind of gave me, a little bit of border there. And then from the ephemera package, the frame was in that. All these other pieces are from the ephemera packages. And like I said, I pulled out all the yellows. I pulled out, some of the greens and things. And I just really liked the leaves that had the little dots on them this time because I thought they were a little more playful as well. And so I kind of pulled those out. Knew I had these 3 pictures that I wanted to put on here. So I laid, I put the 4x6 frame on that photo, thought it would go there, laid these other 2 out. And then I just started, putting little pieces in and tucking pieces together. And so a lot of these pieces here came from the journaling ephemera bits, and you get 112 pieces in here. I mean, my gosh,
That's a lot.
there's so much. I mean, I used, this little label right there. That's right here. I used, I used this little file tab card. That's right here. I just turned it around. The tab is actually in here. I just used, this is like, you can put this in a Rolodex. And so I used that.
Yeah.
It came with, these little clippy things. I used that. Let's see what else I used. This little piece right here is a little tag that came from this as well. It's right here. I mean, I just use lots and lots of things. Like I said, I just started pulling, the yellows from it and see what I could come up with and just kind of layered it. This little banner here, I knew from the very beginning I wanted to use it somewhere. Finally got the right place to use it. It's from the sticker sheet. So it just fit right in there, really nice. It just added a little bit, kind of helped your eye come, across the page. I tucked in, a little heart there, and then this is a little rub on butterfly that I thought was really cute. The little, love little tag right here, I just used black twine and put that on there, tucked in little pieces. And then I thought I needed a little more green in here, so I just took the green tag and I used my uh, three-way diagonal punch on here to
That's so handy
create,
to make.
this, because on the sheet, on the tag sheet, you'll see that it's,
You can
it's
use them
straight.
either way,
It's
however you
straight.
want, but it's kind
So,
of cool.
pop it on there and just cut it. And I did the same with here. I actually just had a little bit of this left over from something that I cut. And I just, cut the edges on it and made that. And then this is from the chipboard that, photo op. I didn't really want to, put another piece of string on there, but I needed something to show where that hole would go. So that's why that was there. So that's really how that came out. And I'm going to show you how I did the background.
That would be awesome.
So that's why I kind of went through this one a little bit quicker. So
and we'll post pictures on our blog.
Stacy wanted to know if I add them to albums.
Yeah.
Okay. Funny story.
Here we go.
Last week I was kind of cleaning up in my scrapbook room, and these little crates that we have.
Oh,
I should say little. I maybe have a few of those that my layouts are all in, because it takes time to put things in albums, right? And sometimes I don't take the time to do it. Well, one day I decided I have to do it. And as I pulled my layouts out of the crate, I bet I had a stack. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was a big stack. And I thought I have to get these in albums. So I sorted them all out. I had them laying out on my island in my kitchen, and I would just go back to my scrap room. I'd get one of my albums, I bring it out. I did that. I think I maybe added 75 layouts to my albums.
Oh my
and then realized I need a couple more albums because I filled them all. So I have to buy a couple more albums. So yes, I do add them to my albums.
Someday, eventually.
Yes, someday they actually do get in the album. And I know I use a lot of layers. I use a lot of dimensional adhesive, that sort of thing. When I put them in my albums, I store my albums upright so they don't really smash. So, I mean, they smash more sitting in those totes than they do sitting in my albums. So, but I don't seem to have any problem. As you look at them, they still look really fine. So I don't have a problem with that. But we are going to make the background
I think
here.
That'd be awesome. I'd like to see it too.
So that is going to be our next thing that we do. So what I'm going to do here, I have
so Peggy,
paper.
you're getting lots of comments from people that are loving this. So thank you for
so much.
sharing your talents.
Thank you.
Joellen wants to do a 5 thumbs up.
Oh, well, thank you.
Isn't that nice?
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start here. And what I did when I started was I just kind of had to figure out where it was I wanted to put my pictures on here. So, I started out with a 4x6 with a little frame. So let's say that this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to lay it about here. I took my pencil and kind of made a pencil line.
Oh.
Okay. Because I know when I put it in a frame, it's not going to be there. Because I don't need to fill all of this with color if I'm just going to cover it up, right? I mean, you could. I just don't want to. And so then the next thing I did was I just took my ink pad, and right now I'm using fossilized amber, which I think is a beautiful, goldy yellow, and it's kind of going to go with those edges too. So I just kind of took that, and then I kind of followed where my pencil line was, and I just went around. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of go around.
This is funny, Peggy. I had no idea how you did this.
So, I mean, you can do, and I know my style well enough to know that, this is going to be a long part here, and then I'm going to put like a title here, so I know I can come up a little bit through there. I don't want really a straight line across.
This is
because
awesome.
I just, plus I already have this here, so it's good. Okay. Now I can add to it anytime I want as I do my layout, as I lay things out. And so then
Oh my
the
gosh.
next thing I did was I just kind of spritzed it because I want it to
Oh
kind
my gosh,
of,
this is not what I expected.
because I kind of want it to run a little bit. Oh, paper towel. I
Okay,
forgot that.
I'm all over it.
So I kind of want it to run a little bit. So I'm going to just kind of, oopsie, a little bit down there. So I just kind of want it to run a little here and there, you know, kind of flip it around. And that was kind of where I was at with that. Oops, I'm going to grab one other thing here. Put this mat underneath. So
That's
take my
not,
little
this is
paper
not
towel.
what I expected, Peggy, at
kinda,
all.
so you have that kind of look to it,
So it kind
right?
of smears it out
Yeah.
more.
Mm-hmm. You know, so you have that.
Oh
So
my
again,
gosh.
if I'm going to put my photo on here, it's going, you know, it's going to go around it. It's going to frame that photo really nicely. And whatever else I decide to put on there. And so then the next thing that I did was I took my spritzes, and I have fossilized amber, and I have spiced marmalade. But I also think, you know, if you want to add a little bit of pink to it, because, you know, you've got some pink there on it. If you want to, you know, add whatever color you want.
It's a very neutral paper, so you
Yeah.
could do any color scheme you want.
These were just the colors that I thought went best with, you know, the pictures that I had.
Were these just the ones laying on your desk?
Well, they're in my drawer.
Okay.
I actually had them up on top of a cabinet, but I couldn't see them very well. So I thought, well, there's room in this drawer, so I'm going to put them
Now
in
you
there,
can
you
use
know,
them.
right?
So
put them where you can use them.
marmalade and fossilized amber.
Yep. So I'm going to grab the splat box real quick.
And splat boxes are a Tim Holtz invention.
Yes.
And they're pretty handy if you want to spray. They fold up flat, so they're super handy. And Janet will leave that too, I'm sure.
So I'm going to just spray into the splat box. I'll move my paper a little bit. But
so you do like a practice spray to see
I
how it
do,
goes?
just to see, you know.
Oh my gosh.
So you have that.
This is what you did for that layout? Okay, I got to look at it again.
Yep.
Oh, there is shimmer. I didn't realize.
And then I added, you know, just that second color into it. Just a real light bit on there. So yeah, so I did that.
Gosh.
And then I did take, you know, paper towel because it's a little bit wet there. Kind of
You just tapped it.
blotted that through. So you can see that there.
Oh my gosh, Peggy, that's so cool.
All right, so there's that. So there's my background. That's how quick and easy that background was. Now, I could have, you know, taken my ink and put it on here and wetted it down, smooshed it, and kind of used that. I've never been successful at that, but if you watch Katie Petite, she's awesome at it. I just can't do it. I don't know. So this is how I did it. I feel like for me, I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing.
And
so
the shimmer is really showing.
It really did.
Oh my
I
gosh.
should grab, where did that
Here it
layout
is,
go?
Kate. Here it is.
Okay.
Peggy.
So you can kind of see, I did the same thing. You can kind of see how it shimmers through here.
When you tilt it, it shimmers.
Right there, you can kind of see the shimmer a little bit.
People, several people said that they love all the layouts. This one might be their favorite.
Yeah. So that was how easy it was to make the background. Now, on like this first one of Max, when my little black spots here, you know, you see a lot of people do that on a lot of layouts if you look online. And I added a little bit here too, not a lot, but you see a lot of people do that, you know. So, you know, if I have this picture sitting here, I might want to, you know, add a little bit, you know, around the edges to it. And the nice thing about distress inks, you can use any color. So, you know, if you want to use purple, use purple. If you want to use pink, use pink. I happen to use black on here because I think on Vicki Boutin's papers, black is really a nice little accent to use.
Yeah, it kind of sets off all the bright colors.
And so what I did, I took my, if you have like, you know, a glass mat, which we have down here, but if you have a glass mat, use that. I just brought my little acrylic block. It works. And I kind of smooshed a little bit of black soot on there, you know, from the mini pad. And then I took my little mister and sprayed it down.
Squirts.
Yep, you see how it's kind of liquidy there?
Yeah, and I can't wait for this, Peggy.
Okay, where'd my paintbrush?
You've drawn me
right
in.
there. So then I just, you know, have a paintbrush. it's one that I just have in my craft room all the time. And so I just took my paintbrush, right, like that. And I could kind of go like this with it, but I find that it works better if I have something to hit with.
So you tap it on the top.
Just tap it.
I am a
Mm-hmm.
terrible splatterer. I've had Maggie show me multiple times, but now I might get it because I've watched you tap it on the top.
Just tap it. Just tap it on
Because
there.
I would tap the paintbrush on my finger, and that's how I splattered
Mm-hmm.
my keyboard and my monitor.
So there.
Oh my
Now we've
gosh,
splattered.
that is
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah. So that's how we make that background. Quick, easy,
Janet
and
agrees
how
with me. She
beautiful.
thinks she could do this too.
Yeah. You know what? It's
I'm
it's
taking brush.
it's very easy to do. It's quick, it's easy. You know, sometimes I don't think about doing it because, you know, you think that it's a little bit messy. It's, you know, it wasn't messy. It was it was pretty easy to do. You know, with the spritz, with the ink, and with the splatter. I mean, you get it all. Now, typically, I would wait until the very end to do the splatter so that I knew that I would be framing things. And when I do that, even though like all my pictures are on there, what I would do, I just like would take a plain piece of typing paper or something and put it over where my picture was and splat around it so it wouldn't matter, you know, that the typing paper got splattered, the splatter wouldn't go on the picture. So that's kind of what I did with that. It's so easy, so quick,
So neat.
and simple. So, you know, these layouts all look really complicated, but when you break them down, they're very doable. They're ones, you know, they're things that you can do in an afternoon, you know, start to finish on it. Um, I and I think, you know, when you get to add your own color and kind of customize the paper, then you just bring that, you know, you bring that level of layout up a little bit. You know, you kind of boost that. And when you can do it quick and easy like this, I mean, what it took us, what, 5 minutes, you know, to do this background, and it looks like the paper came that way, and I think
It
that's the
looks
fun part.
amazing.
And then you can, like, I mean, if I were to use, you know, this, I maybe would have used greens or, you know, maybe some darker blues
Mm-hmm.
instead of, you know, like the gold. But, you know, my pictures on this layout really dictated that I needed gold in there. And then, you know, with, you know, the green highlights in the paper, but it really dictated that I needed the gold. And I think if you use like the two different color spritzes, you add layer to the color, which I think is important. You can do the same thing by adding two different colors of ink. So if you have, you know, the fossilized amber and maybe the rusty hinge I think is a really pretty um, orangey, dark, deep orangey. But you know, the peel or the spice marmalade is also great too. And those are the two spritzes that I used. But you can do it quite easily, and you can. And when it comes to, you know, splattering, I know there's a lot of people that use paint. I think Maggie uses paint a lot when
Mm-hmm.
she splatters. You know, and you can do that. Use what you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with the inks. You know, others are comfortable with paints. Use what you're comfortable with. And again, I think, you know, for me, with being able to use the inks, I can kind of customize my color a little bit more and I can match it up, you know, because I do have, you know, a little variety of ink at home.
That's a good
So,
point.
so you can do that. But like I said, you know, very quick and easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of time. And you just kind of, if you have that idea of the layout in your head and you kind of know where you want to lay out your pictures, you just kind of frame, you know, around the edges of that with, you know, your heaviest color, and then kind of go out from there.
Peggy, I
So
love
yeah.
that. I'm so glad you showed
Mm-hmm.
how to do that because I would have never ever thought that that's how you did it with
Mm-hmm.
the ink and
So
your
easy
blending tool.
and quick, you know, quick. And I mean, I'm one that I tend to agonize over layouts. Not as much as I used to, um, but this is one way that I can kind of create what I want in just a little bit of time. And really, it wasn't that messy. It wasn't that messy. So it looks a lot messier than what it
Well, I
was.
think maybe you're not really into mixed media, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a way that you're kind of doing some mixed media, but
Yeah.
you've
Mm-hmm.
simplified it, I think, for
Mm-hmm.
those of us that aren't really into the mixed
Yeah.
media. And I love how it framed. framed your layout.
Yeah. So I mean, when you
Okay.
go from plain paper to
Yeah, let's show all
really
your
color. Okay.
layouts again.
Alrighty. I'm gonna put this one back here
Oh,
because it's
excuse
still a little
me.
wet. Okay. So this was layout number 3.
Amazing.
Again, customize that background, which was so easy. And the Flower Emporium, sometimes I've heard some people say that um, they thought it might be a little bit difficult to work with at times. There's so many pieces. I think sometimes that
Gets
overwhelms.
overwhelming. Yeah.
But as I did these layouts, when I pulled out, certain colors um, from the ephemera, that helped kind of break things in. So I wasn't, thumbing through everything all the time. When I kind of pulled out like the oranges on here and stuff, that helped simplify it. Um, and I knew a lot of this was going to be kind of neutral. I mean, background was already there. And then I could kind of build on that. So that helped too. I mean, look at your picture, kind of build your color from there. And then this one,
You
again,
had 3 very different
very
layouts.
different looking layouts, all from the same collection. And I really appreciate that about a collection when I can do that, and they look very different. Because if I do this, if they're going to look the same over and over again, I might get a little bit bored with it. Especially, if I'm doing different subjects. Now, if I were doing, one continuous, uh, like a travel one, or something that was all one subject, I would probably want to use a lot of those same papers. Like, for my son's football book, I use a lot of the same papers in it just because I want that continuity throughout the album. But when there's so many different choices that you could use, with these papers and make such varied layouts, I think that is another thing that draws me to it.
That, Peggy, that's
They're very
kind of a
different.
waboom for me
Mhm.
because at first the Vicki Boutin Flower Emporium, we were trying to, match inks and everything,
Mhm.
and it has so many colors
Mhm.
and so many things. But then the benefit is
Yeah.
that like you just said, you
Mhm.
can use the same collection and it looks different,
Right.
and it's more of a value then.
And again, you guys, we have it at 40% off today, and so open stock papers, so you can get all the solids that you want, or those are called starters.
There's starters and okay,
Right.
starters. You're gonna have to look
Yeah,
look
I'm
at the
gonna have to look
paper.
again.
There's
Okay.
the solids are not solids,
Yeah.
but they are
The
not
solids are called staples.
staples and starters.
Staples and starters. So the collection kit is the starters. And then we have the staples, which are the solids, and then we have um, the paper pad. And again, you get 2 of each paper in the paper pad. So great value on that one. Nice heavyweight paper. It's 49 in market. It's going to be heavyweight. Oops, I got something flying
They
around
want
here.
you to send your layouts to a magazine, Peggy.
Then it's a job.
Should
Then I
you
have
not?
to take pictures of them. And I'm not so good at
I'll do
that.
that for you.
But we have the sticker sheet, which I used quite a, what I loved about the sticker sheet, look at all these word
Yeah,
phrases
it's
in
a
here.
good one.
And they're great things. I mean, they are just great. It's important to document all your memories. Remember this. A bunch of lovely flowers have the ability to brighten even a dark day. I think that's a lovely thing. So you have the
Oh my
sticker
gosh, that
sheet.
is.
You've got the 6x8, and in the 6x8 you get I think 3.
I think
2.
it might I
2.
think it might be 3 of each. I'm not sure. Does it say you get 24 papers?
2 of each design in the
Okay,
6x8.
2.
2 of each. And then we have the journaling ephemera, which so many pieces, 112 die cut pieces in
That's
here.
all?
Yeah, that's it. Not too many.
Not too many.
But great frames in here. There's a lot of different pieces, lots of fun things. Then you have the chipboard basics, and again, a lot of chipboard in here. Those circles are great. Your titles in there, they're wonderful. Then you have the chipboard bits, and these are your more colorful pieces in here. And again, you do get things, for titles as well. So, and the numbers are great. Flowers, they're good. It's fun. I just can't.
I like it. They're good.
They're good. They're
They're
good.
good. Take our
Um,
word for it.
the laser cut elements. I didn't use these on layouts today because I didn't have them when I was doing my layouts. But again, I mean, look at the banner pieces and, you know, the ties, like, you know, instead of using a rub on, you know, on the pink layout up at the top, you could use, you know, the laser cut. I mean, they're just great. And then we come to the puffy stickers, and look at all the things you can use for titles, you know, Wildflower,
really nice.
Laughter, Sunshine, Remember.
I think they lend
just love
themselves to
that. Yes,
scrapbooking
I do
more
too.
so than card making.
Yes, I do too, because of the size of them. And, you know, I mean, you get like, you know, you can stop and smell the wildflowers, you know, I mean, there's a title for you right there. These little, you know, leaves where you can see, you know, the inside, so they're not, you know, completely solid. I love that. Love that they put a green one in there. Dream Big, I love that one too. These are great. Then you get, you know, the little dots in here that are different sizes and little hearts and stuff. So you can, you know, absolutely use that. And then you got to have something to carry it in, right? So we have the bag.
Did you get, oh yeah, you got both.
So we have the bag, and the bag is $14.99. It's a beautiful bag. All of the collection will fit in it. It's a nice heavyweight canvas bag. It's great.
And it's 40% off
40% off. And then we have, what are these called?
I don't know if it's like a project bag or
exclusive project tote. So you get the project tote, and with $49 in market, all of their project totes also come with exclusive enamel dots. So you get pink enamel dots with this one.
And you were talking about enamel dots earlier. And
gosh, had I had this, I could have used these instead of the gems, right? But the gems work too. So 40% off of all of this today. So we have open stock papers. We've got open stock, you know, the solids that aren't solid, which is
the Peggy name for that stuff.
And then, and this album.
Oh yeah, you got to show the
album. We have an album too. So we've got a 6x8 album.
It's a 2-inch bind, or 2-inch spine.
Because she likes to make things thick. And you have, you know, you get, you know, the pages with the pockets in them here. And then you get, you know, the different divider pages too.
And her albums have extra things other than the other 49 in market albums. It's got some laser cuts in the back too. I'm glad you're really flipping through that. Nice so people can see what you get.
Yeah.
It's a great, I'm going to say starter. It's got a lot of fun pages in it.
It is, you know, and you can really build. There's, you know, some of the laser cut tabs and things that you get both in the brown and the black. And then you get other pages too. So these have a lot of die cuts, laser cuts in there too. And then you get page protectors.
Vicki always wants a lot of stuff in her
So these will be your 3x4 page protectors, or 3x4 cards that will go in there. So yeah, this is a great thing.
And I don't know what the album, I think the album is normally maybe $34.99 and it would be 40% off also.
So very pretty stuff.
Peggy, I'm going to flip the camera here.
Sure.
And I just want to say amazing. Peggy, this I have loved this video, and I can't wait to do a background like you showed us.
It's
I've never done that. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I have all that stuff. And it came together really well. And you aren't seeing all the comments, but you won't believe how many people are like, think it's amazing what you've done. And she is our specialized layout gal for sure.
Know that it's all doable, and that's the thing. I as I go through, I like to, you know, kind of break down the steps that I take to do it, because I want you guys to be able to do it too. And I think that's important when we are showing different techniques and different things. We want you to be able to do it too. We want you to be able to see how we do it so that you can do it as well if you like it. If you like it, we want you to be able to do it. And if you ever have any questions about it, we're here. We're happy to answer.
Well, thank you, Peggy. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And we can't wait till you're back with more layouts. We need to find some more product for you to work with.
Yeah, tell me what you want me to use.
And thank you, Janet, also for being in the background here. And tomorrow, Sarah's going to be here for her first video, and it's a Down on the Farm theme, and she's got a canvas and some cards.
A canvas. We haven't seen one of those. That was always a Maggie thing too.
Yeah, I know. Cool. It's going to be fun. So she'll be here tomorrow, and we'll be back for that. And thank you, everyone, for
thanks for joining.